There was a guy yesterday, right? He said, I've got $10 million of Solana. I sold out and just bought back in recently. He made like $5 million this week. He's like, what should I do? My advice to him was like, well, do you have a goal? Like, what are you trying to achieve in crypto? He's like, oh, I don't know. And without a goal, you have no reason to sell.
Alrighty guys, we are back for the first interview of the second day. Safe to say we're not as bright-eyed as the first day, but...
Speak for yourself, mate.
Well, yeah, Tommy, you're looking well. Ben, same as you. I guess I'll just speak for myself here. Look, Ben Simpson, friend of the show. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. You guys have been busy. Lots of guests over the weekend. Yeah, the conference has been really good. It's been busy. I feel like a D-grade celebrity yesterday. It was just constant. People coming
Not
to
getting
the
too big-headed. He only went with the D grade, so didn't go up the alphabet too high.
No.
Because I would have called you out on it.
Oh, bloody oath, mate. No. So, one day a year, mate, at the conference. Right. That's been really good. The talks have been great. Just the energy, I think, with the market, man, put this conference back a month or so, could have been tumbleweeds.
Absolutely.
But I think everyone sort of dusted off the ledger, dusted off the portfolio. People are making a little bit more money now, and it's a bit more excitement, so it's good.
Yeah, it's been really pleasing to see. Like, more specifically, I guess the events that you guys have done or the panels that you guys have been on have been gemmed. Like,
yeah.
I moderated one of them where we were talking about kind of people getting started in the market and trends and things like that, and it's gemmed. It's like standing room only. Like, it's great to see, and it could have been, like you said, a lot different if we were 6 weeks ago, right?
100%. It's really, when we did, our panel yesterday, right, we're more on an education piece like that. It's really, really telling for people coming to these events. They want to learn, right? They want to hear from industry experts, trusted people to become better investors and traders. And it's really great to see so many people committed to that. We ran a couple of workshops, and I had my talk yesterday, and it just, there's hundreds of people just piling in wanting to listen. So it's really awesome to see. Like, a lot of people struggle to learn online and read and do all these things. A lot of people like to be in person, in the flesh.
Read. Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been a while since you've been on the show, but you've been a regular. What's changed in the market, sentiment-wise? We see it with Collective Shift as well. Like, what's the biggest change you've seen in the industry?
It's funny. Like, you probably guys see it with increased prices, users starting to come back. We had our probably best month in October just recently in terms of new customers coming in, which is awesome. And I think it's primarily led by, I think the market just turning back to an equilibrium. I think it traded well below, fair value for the last probably year and a half. People sort of forgot about crypto, went at the depths of the bear market. I mean, what is it up? We hit $16,000 in December. What are we at? 36, 37 today?
Right, yeah.
We're up over 100% in the year, and most people still don't know, right, outside of crypto. I think obviously the Bitcoin ETF, the speculation that's going to be approved, I think that's starting to be priced in. And I think the money that we're seeing floating around from existing investors, they're just getting more confident. I saw this morning that stablecoin volumes really had a big uptick, so we're seeing more capital come into the ecosystem. So just people are a lot more bullish, and I think things happen really quickly in crypto, right? One day it could be super bearish, and all of a sudden something happens, and everyone's back again. So things move quickly in crypto.
Yeah, we've seen Ethereum kind of have a little lift over the last few days as well. Yeah. BlackRock, there's a rumor, or whether it's a rumor or it's truth now at this stage, that they have filed for an Ethereum ETF as well in the US.
I think that's in now. That's happening.
It's in, right? Yeah. So there you go. So we're dropping it here live. It's in. It's confirmed. But, to think that in 6 months we could have, a BlackRock Bitcoin ETF in Jan, and, closely followed by an Ethereum ETF, like, it's pretty exciting news. And I guess it is a justified catalyst for the market to be reacting to that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, ETH back over 2,000. I think that's going to have a great run this year. I'm a big fan of Ethereum. And I think all the layer 2 scaling solutions on top of that, OP, Arbitrum, Polygon, all of these other, layer 2 solutions on top of Ethereum, I think it's going to be a really big narrative this year. Just generally pretty excited about where the market's going. But as I said, we haven't seen huge new inflows. Only in the last week or two, we're starting to see a little bit more money. Not sure what you guys are seeing on the retail front in terms of new customers signing up. But what we're seeing on chain is just a lot of existing users that may have not have traded in a little while, starting to come back and getting more excited.
It's similar on the SwiftX side, I would say. We're seeing a lot of those users that haven't been active on a platform for 6 months, 9 months, starting to reactivate, starting to deposit again, which is obviously really pleasing. It's great to see that there hasn't been, that churn. But people are just actually waiting for something to happen in the market to come back in. So,
and one of the most
signs.
100%. And one of the most exciting things for me is the people that have been here, this accumulation period over the last 2 years, are just stacking more and more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right, 75% of the supply of Bitcoin hasn't been sold in over 6 months or a year for these people, right? So the illiquidity of Bitcoin, plus the amount of capital that's been withdrawn from exchanges, like exchange across the board of crypto on exchanges is multi-year lows, which basically is good, right? That basically means that users are withdrawing their crypto onto their cold wallets, which means as new capital comes in, there's less supply for them to buy, right? And when you get an ETF being approved, and we're talking, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars coming into the ecosystem with a limited supply, it only goes one way.
Yeah.
I just want to take it back to Collective Shift. Are you seeing more? Are you finding that the existing users are trying to learn and try not to make the same mistakes that they did in the last market? Or are you seeing an influx of new customers entering the market for the first time?
No, we're seeing more of people not wanting to make the same mistakes, right? And the most common mistakes we see is people going through 1 or 2 cycles and just not making any money, right? People don't sell. It's one of the hardest things to do. Not many people
talked about it on the panel yesterday, just that difficulty in selling and the psychology behind, the 50% gain that I've got is going to turn into a 100% gain and a 200% gain and so on. Yeah. People just don't sell, right?
Euphoria takes over. It's very hard to sell. So one of the things we teach at Collective Shift and to all our members is we have like a 10-step process where you take them through to create their own strategy. But the most important piece out of that is writing out the assets you have and starting to have some sell targets. Like what are the prices you're going to sell which coin at and how much you're going to sell. So what we give advice to is giving a dollar cost averaging out strategy. So rather than just getting in and all out, starting to take chips off the table once you hit your target. So let's say Bitcoin hits 100,000, starting to take 20% out, 30%. Take some chips off the table. That way you're taking profits and you're not playing this like really risky game of trying to just make as much money as possible. Because once a bull market ends, it ends, right? It's all over, right? Ethereum went from 4,600 down to 1,600.
It happens quick too.
In hours, right? And if you're holding the bag, you're gonna lose out. So take chips off the table on the way up and be a little bit more risk off, in the bull markets.
Bringing it back to kind of the event, obviously we're day 2 of the crypto convention here in Melbourne. I guess, I've seen you, mate. It's been a frenzy, like you said, the D-grade celebrity. What kind of questions, I guess, are those people on the ground asking you and your team? Like, what's the kind of the general angle of the questions they're coming up to talk to you about?
It's been a wide range. I reckon I've spoken to 200 people, yesterday, and right from I've got $10 million of Solana, should I sell? To, is a ledger really safe? There's been a whole wide range of questions. What exchanges should I use? There's a lot. You find there's a lot more beginners in these events because I think it's a little bit more. They feel a little bit more safer coming and actually speaking to people. Sure. But I think it's really down that the sell strategy's been really one. I think that really hit home in my talk yesterday. People are like, wow, this really resonates. I don't have a sell strategy. Yep. How do I put that together? So we're really trying to help people understand that the sell strategy and your goals and that asset selection in a bull market is really important. Obviously, you get those questions like which sectors are going to perform best.
Of course.
About gaming, all that sort of stuff. But
I've started to actually notice in some of the crypto Facebook groups, people are starting to come through now and ask, I've bought Solana is a good example because it's been pumping and, it's a bit of a frenzy about Solana at the moment. People posting in the Facebook groups, what should I do? I've made X% or I've made X amount of dollars. And it's pretty eye-opening to see the varied opinions that people come through.
I bet.
Some people are like, hold on forever. And it's important to kind of strip it back for people and be like, look, like you said, that's just that sell strategy, that dollar cost average is a great strategy, but it's probably even a better strategy to do it on the outward.
Yeah. So there was a guy yesterday, right? He said, I've got $10 million of Solana. I sold out and just bought back in recently. He made $5 million this week. He's like, what should I do? And
I'm like, you a coffee to start.
and my advice to him was well, do you have a goal? What are you trying to achieve in crypto? He's like, I don't know. And that's for so many people that don't have a goal. And without a goal, you have no reason to sell, which means you don't sell. So for me, this cycle, I want to buy my mum and dad a house, right? So when I've got my portfolio to size that I'm ready to, take out and buy them a house, then I know that I'm going to go do that because the idea of my mum and dad having a home they don't have to pay for is amazing, right? Versus hoping it's going to go another 20% for no reason.
Sure.
It's a completely different mindset. So whether that's paying off your mortgage, paying off your credit card, buying a house, whatever that might be, just figure out your goal. And he didn't have a goal. And that was something that, we're going to have a chat about later with him, and just like figure out what is it. Do you need $10 million? Do you need 100,000? Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, I think it's the message I'm pulling out from a lot of your talks and speeches, and your team as well, Ben, over the last few days, is just have a plan, and make sure that you have something documented, something down on paper. It doesn't have to be over the top or confusing. Yeah. It can be quite simple as having those targets set, and obviously you guys at Collective Shift will help people kind of get that down and be comfortable with it, which is the main thing. So that's awesome.
Cool. I just got one last question for you, Ben. We've just seen SBF locked away. Throw away the keys.
Yep.
Do you think the job is done when it comes to making crypto a safe place for investors and traders?
Yeah, the job's not done. It's going to be ongoing. Even some stuff over this weekend. There's some questionable things sort of still going on. Like this space is still so misunderstood that there's the idea of making it trustworthy and removing the bad players is going to be an ongoing job for all of us, right? So no, I don't think it's a matter of SBF gone, it's all going to be okay. Like, we still need to really put the trust and credibility at the top, because there's just a lot of misunderstandings in token economics projects, the way business is done in this sector, that us as more credible sources, we need to keep forcing that.
Yeah, I think on that one, yes, we've seen a couple of big players go out of the market due to malpractice. I would say is probably a good way good bracket to put it into. But I think Dave Hasselhoff kind of mentioned it yesterday. It's likely we'll see more before we get to a regulated state. Yeah. There will be more pain. Where that comes from, obviously nobody knows. But it's all about just doing your due diligence on these things, and self-custody where you can. And we kind of touched on it on our panel yesterday. It is not for everyone, but where you can, learn it and try and get there as soon as you can for the new people.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, mate, always a pleasure. Never a chore. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Shall we wrap it up?
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, Ben.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Cheers.